Good morning, dear students. Today is our next reading and writing lessons. I'm glad to meet you here, and today we will talk about writing, especially such an interesting thing as essay structure, and we will read a little bit. It will be a homework actually. So after covering the essay structure, we will also learn how to add more details to your essays to make them more interesting, to make your paragraphs more detailed, to make your paragraphs better for reader. So let's start with an essay structure. Let me answer the question, what is an essay? So the main purpose of any essay is to discuss, persuade, describe, and explain, interpret, or analyze a particular topic. So essay is just a piece of writing which has the beginning, the middle part, and a conclusion in which you develop a topic which was given to you beforehand. So in your essay, you develop any kind of ideas related to that topic. You explain, you give reasons, you justify your answers. So all in all, you express your opinion on a particular topic. Essay usually consists of three main parts. Actually, it matters what kind of structure, what kind of a task type it is, but in general, no matter the task type, the essay has the following structure. An introduction, which is an introductory paragraph. Then it will have a body. There should be at least one body paragraph, but usually there are more, two or three body paragraphs. But one is kind of minimum. And also, after all these body paragraphs, there comes a conclusion, which is a concluding paragraph in which you summarize any kind of extra things which you have said before. So let's look at the scheme of the essay structure. So you can see that we always begin with introduction. Then we go to body, where you have a topic sentence. Then if you have the second topic sentence, you make a second body paragraph. And finally, you give a conclusion. So if here I presented it in the form of the text, here you can see a line out of the essay. Let's look deeper at the introduction. So an introductory paragraph has two parts in its turn. So if essay was divided into three parts, then the introduction has two parts. First part is general statement and second part is a thesis statement. So probably you will need to write at least two sentences in your introduction. So let's answer the question what general statement is. General statement is the sentence in which you introduce the general topic of the essay. It is also the time when you may use a hook. A hook is a sentence that captures the reader's interest. So your first sentence, your general statement, should be complied in such a way that it catches the attention of the reader who reads your essay after you have written it. Next thing which you need to give in your introduction is your thesis statement. In your thesis statement, you state the specific topic of your essay. So in general, if the topic is about education, you state it in the first sentence. In your thesis statement, you state exactly about what in sphere of education you're going to write about. So for example, the availability of higher education for the society. Also, thesis statement may list subtopics and subdivisions. So if your essay consists of lots of paragraphs, then your thesis statement, as you remember from one of our previous lessons, should consist of some subdivisions and subtopics. It also may indicate the patterns of organization. So in your thesis statement, you outline your essay. You say what you are going to write about. It also normally is the last sentence of the introductory paragraph. So you begin with general statement and only then give your thesis statement. Now let's have a look at the body paragraphs. Body paragraphs are actually the main part of your essay, and you need to pay a lot of attention to them. Because even if you have a nice thesis statement, you used a great hook and you catch the attention of the reader, now in your main body, you need to save that attention. You need to make sure your reading doesn't stop reading and doesn't get bored after all these things. So the body paragraphs are used to develop your topic and they also provide your points. They also should have some things. First of all, it is some sort of pattern. So probably you will need to use a chronological order or a comparison contrast or a combination of both. So you usually should have an order. You never begin with giving the reason and then moving to the problem itself. Probably the order needs to be very logical. Also, a logical division of ideas should be there. Division into subtopics and discussions on these subtopics in separate paragraphs. As you always remember, we never give two main ideas in one paragraph. In order to make our essay cohesive and coherent, we divide the ideas into separated paragraphs and we dedicate one paragraph for every single idea you have. So that's why your body paragraphs should always consist only one idea, only one subtopic, which you develop appropriately with a sort of pattern. So what's the pattern of your body paragraph? The pattern of your body paragraph is as follows. You start with a topic sentence. I'm just reminding you because we have covered it before. So you start with your topic sentence. After that, you give explanation, details, justifications, and examples. And finally, you give a small conclusion of this single paragraph only, not of the whole essay, but only of one paragraph. The same structure can be implemented to every single body paragraph of your essay, so don't worry and make sure you use it. Next thing, and the last thing in your essay is the conclusion. The conclusion, as you understand, is the final paragraph. It has three actual purposes. It signals the end of the essay. So that means the conclusion shows that you have finished writing and this is all what you wanted to say to a person. It also reminds the reader of your main points. You can do this in two ways. In order to remind your readers your main points which were stated in your essay, you may do the following things. You may summarize your subtopics. So once more, with one single sentence or phrase, you summarize the things which you've mentioned in your paragraphs from the body. Also, you may paraphrase your thesis there. Remember we gave a thesis statement in introduction? You may paraphrase it in conclusion. So that means saying the same things with different words, and it will be a perfect conclusion. It also leaves the reader with your final thoughts on the topic. So make sure to remind about everything you have said in your essay so far by first paraphrasing your thesis and second by summarizing your subtopics which were given in your body paragraphs. The number of body paragraphs equals to the number of subtopics. Essay outlining. When you're writing a formal essay, an outline is a very important thing. So formal outline has a systems as following, as you can see on my screen. First thing which you need to remember is Roman numerals 1, 2, and 3 for the major sections of an essay. Introduction, body, and conclusion. So if you want to number your paragraphs, you should use Roman numerals. Also, capital letters are used on to label the body paragraphs. So you begin your paragraphs always with a capital letter. You never begin with lowercase. Numerals such as 1, 2, 3, so usual numbers which we use, are used for subpoints in each paragraph. So when you're making an outline of your essay, you use it like 1, 2, and 3. Small letters like A, B, C label specific supporting details. So when you're making your outline, you use these things. Numbering the paragraphs, 1 is for introduction, 2 is for body, 3 is for conclusion. It's the parts. Then when you're numbering the paragraphs, you give them letters A, B, and C. Then for subpoints in each paragraphs, you give the numbers to them like 1, 2, 3. And finally, you give small letters in lowercase to label specific supporting details. Let's look here. So here is a special essay outline. So it looks like this. Usually, instead of writing just the word topic sentence, you write actually your topic sentence. Uh, then here in black parts where nothing is added, you present your subtopics, you present your supporting details. So all in all, you give the information which is in your essay, and it is a perfect plan so that the person who wants to read your essay may look at this plan and understand what you mean and what you want to talk about. So if the structure of essay is clear, I would like to move to such thing as adding details for interest. Sometimes, in order to make our writing more interesting, we can add more details to it. In order not just to use simple, short sentences, we may add some more details to them and use complex sentences or at least sentences with more details. You may look at the sentences below. They are going from shortest to the longest. You need to match the more detailed sentence 1 to 5 to the methods used for adding details. So let's do it together. Weddings are very important. This is just a simple statement. Traditional weddings are very important. What has been added? Words to avoid generalization. So traditional weddings, not all of the weddings, but only traditional. Traditional weddings are very important to many people. So here we can see that a prepositional phrase has been added to many people. Here it is. We may add a prepositional phrase to make our essay, to make our sentence longer, to add more details of interest. In my country, traditional weddings are very important to many people. Here again, we added words to avoid generalization. In my country, traditional weddings, not all the traditional weddings. In my country, traditional weddings tend to be very important to many people. We added 2 prepositional phrases to the sentence in order to make it longer. All in all, when you want to make your sentences better, you may add details for interest. How do we do that? Well, we have 5 methods of that. First thing, we add words to avoid the generalizations. Second thing, we add a prepositional phrase to our sentence. Also, we may add 2 prepositional phrases. This is totally fine. We may add an adjective to a noun to make it more interesting. So, for example, not just weddings, but traditional weddings. We added an adjective to a noun. And finally, we may add an adverb to an adjective. So, are important to many people, are very important to many people. So in order to practice, I would like you now to pay attention to these 3 sentences. For each sentence, you need to add the words and phrases in the box to make a longer, more detailed sentence. There is more than one answer possible, so please do it right now and then we will check.